Looking for an affordable smartphone with a huge screen, powerful battery, and Samsung's trusted quality, all at a great price? Fire the new Samsung Galaxy A07 might be just what you've been waiting for. In this video, we'll cover everything you need to know, from its standout features and hidden strengths to the downsides to consider before buying. Samsung's Galaxy A07 is a budget-focused entry in the long-running A series lineup. It targets users who want a large screen, long battery life, a decent camera, and the reassurance of Samsung's software support, all without blowing the budget. Below I break down the A07's main features, then walk through the advantages and the trade-offs you should consider before buying. Key features: what the phone ships with. Display: 6.7-inch PLS LCD HD Plus resolution, 1600x720, with a 90 Hz refresh rate. This gives the A07 a big, smooth-feeling screen for scrolling in videos, even though the resolution is modest compared with mid-range phones. Processor: MediaTek Helio G99, 6nm. A modern, power-efficient Helio chip aimed at budget phones. It handles everyday apps and casual games well. Memory and storage: multiple SCUS. Typical configurations include 4 64ths of a gigabyte, 4 128ths of a gigabyte, 6 128ths of a gigabyte, and a higher 8 256ths of a gigabyte option in some markets, and microSD support for storage expansion. Cameras: dual rear camera setup with a main 50-megapixel sensor plus a 2-megapixels depth macro secondary sensor, and an 8-megapixels front-facing selfie camera. The 50-megapixel sensor is the headline spec aimed at improving daytime shots. Battery and charging: 5000 mAh battery with support for up to 25W wired charger often sold separately in some markets. That capacity targets multi-day battery life under moderate use. Build and extras: slim, reported approximately 7.6 mm, and lightweight for a 6.7-inch device. Side-mounted fingerprint sensor, IP54 dust, splash resistance, 3.5 mm headphone jack, USB-C port, dual SIM. The phone ships with Android 15-based One UI 7 and, notably, an extended software promise of multiple major OS upgrades and years of security updates. Samsung highlights 6 years of support on this model. Advantages: where the Galaxy A07 shines. 1. Big, smooth display at a low price. A 6.7-inch panel with 90 Hz refresh is rare in the cheapest tiers. The higher refresh rate makes navigation and animations feel far smoother than a standard 60 Hz LCD, which is a clear quality of life upgrade for social media, web browsing, and light gaming. For media consumption, YouTube, TikTok, the screen size alone is very appealing. 2. Excellent battery life. The 5000 mAh battery combined with the energy-efficient 6nm Helio G99 in a non-full HD display typically yields very long runtimes. Users who prioritize all-day, or multi-day, use without daily charging will appreciate this. The A07 is built for endurance. 3. Better than expected camera hardware for the price. A 50-megapixels main sensor on a budget Samsung phone is a big plus. Daytime photos are often detailed and usable for social sharing. While the secondary sensor is modest, the main camera still gives you flexibility compared with older low-end models that ship with much smaller sensors. 4. Modern platform and long updates. Samsung's promise of extended OS and security updates for A series models is one of the A07's strongest selling points. 6 years of security support and multiple Android upgrades mean the phone stays relevant and secure far longer than many cheap alternatives. This is valuable if you plan to keep the phone several years. 5. Useful extras you don't always find at this price. Side fingerprint sensor, fast unlocking, IP54 dust, splash resistance, and a 3.5 mm jack make the phone practical for everyday life. Also, microSD support means storage limits are less of a concern. Disadvantages and trade-offs: what to watch out for. 1. Resolution and pixel density are modest. Although the panel is large and 90 Hz, the resolution is HD+, 720p-ish. That lowers pixel density, pixels per inch. Compared with FHD displays, so text and fine details aren't as crisp, especially when viewing from close up. If you're someone who watches a lot of high-definition content or reads small text frequently, the lower resolution is noticeable. 2. Camera performance is situational. The 50 megapixel spec looks great on paper, but photo quality depends a lot on sensor size, image processing, and low light performance. In good daylight you'll get sharp results. In low light the small sensor pixels and the lack of a larger telephoto sensor mean noise and detail loss are common. Don't expect flagship level night photos. 3. Performance limits for heavy gaming and multitasking. The Helio G99 is a competent budget chip for daily tasks and casual gaming, but it's not in the same class as mid-range Snapdragon or newer Dimensity chips. For sustained intensive gaming, heavy multitasking, or demanding apps you may see frame drops, longer load times, and some thermal throttling. If you're a mobile gamer chasing high FPS at high settings, this isn't the ideal pick. 4. No native 5G in many markets. The A07's initial global variants are 4G LTE devices. If you want future-proof connectivity with 5G in regions where 5G is already widespread, you'll need to look at higher-tier models. That said, 4G is still sufficient for many users and regions today. 5. Charger may not be included, market dependent. Samsung, like many vendors, has moved towards selling phones without a charger in the box in some markets. Although the device supports 25W charging, you may need to buy the adapter separately to take advantage of faster wired charging. That's a small extra cost to factor in. Who should buy the Galaxy A07? Buy the A07 if you want a very large screen for media at a low price, excellent battery life and a device that will last through the day, or two, without much fuss. Decent camera hardware for daytime photos and social sharing. Long-term software, security updates from Samsung, great for users who keep phones for many years. Practical extras like IP54 protection, a headphone jack, and expandable storage. Skip or consider alternatives if you prioritize high-resolution screens, FHD Plus or AMOLED. Want flagship-level camera performance or fast 5G connectivity. Need top-tier raw CPU, GPU power for sustained, competitive mobile gaming. Final verdict: the Samsung Galaxy A07 is a textbook budget winner in its segment. It stacks practical, user-friendly features, large 90Hz display, huge battery, 50 megapixels main camera, IP54, long software support, into a slim, affordable package. The trade-offs, an HD Plus panel, modest low-light camera performance, and a mid-range chipset, are predictable compromises for keeping the price low. If your priorities are screen size, battery life, and long-term support rather than peak performance or the absolute best camera, the A07 delivers a convincing value proposition. At the end of the video, I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching. See you in a new video.